easy. I need a housekeeper and a cook. I need my own Alice from the Brady Bunch.
I really wish we had either a nanny or Mary Poppins or Alice from the Brady Bunch, because our house is a disaster mess at all times. But I wish I did better at picking stuff up and putting it away. Instead, I choose to watch The Blacklist or Ray Donovan and lay on my couch.
I wish I had a nanny that lived with me. Or maybe like a butler, so that they could like, I could hang out with my kids, but my butler could like make me drinks and do my laundry and sweep my floors. Live-in help would be amazing. And maybe I only think that because I watch like too much reality television, but that would be really, really nice.
I need to ask for help more. I like to do things all myself, and so I sometimes tend to get really overwhelmed and like yell at my husband for not helping, and he's like, I didn't know you needed help. So it's one of those things. I need to be better about asking for help and not trying to do it all myself. So I'm not very good at delegating. I want to make sure that the baby's bottles are prepared just right for daycare. I mean, it's crazy person stuff.
I wish we had family that lived closer to us. I think that would make our lives a lot easier, just from day to day, especially if my daughter gets sick. And especially if we have something that comes up last minute, it's a little more difficult for both my husband and I.
Just oodles of money, right? So then you can pay people to do all the stuff you don't want to do, or right, you want to take a nap, so you pay somebody to watch the kid while you take a 2-hour nap. What? Nobody ever does that.
Right now, I'm not actually doing that great with the stress management, and actually, we've taken some medication for it because things just get a little too heavy to do on my own. I know that the stress that I'm going through right now is not going to last forever. It's just some stuff at work and some stuff at home that's getting ironed out. My husband lost his job, and then he was unemployed for a few months. Then he had a temporary job, and now he's finally at a permanent place that he wants to be. So, but for a while there, it was really kind of heavy. It's easier from January through May because I have my performance group that I'm in. Singing is a great stress reliever for me.
So this year has probably been more stressful than a lot of people who, having a second child is a game changer. Like I tell people, when we had our first child, it was kind of like, oh, Jerry and I are married, and now we have Wyatt who tags along with us, and he's really fun, and it's like we have this little brother, that just kind of hangs out. And then you like have another kid, and you're like, shit just got real. Like, I'm a mom, he's a dad, we're like a family unit. So my second baby was born 7 weeks early. She was 2 pounds 14 ounces. We spent a long time in the NICU, and that wasn't even the stressful part of the year. So she got sick with RSV and pneumonia. We spent 5 weeks at Children's Hospital from like January 30th to March 7th, and then she was in the hospital again in May for a week because she got sick again with another viral infection. So that kind of stress, like who stays with the baby, who goes and gets the 2-year-old, when it's like we call it survival mode at our house. You just don't have an option. You just kind of move on through it. You just keep going.
I like to exercise when I can fit it in. I'm having a hard time figuring that out right now with the 2 kids, but I'll get there. And the other thing is I have a really full personal life outside of work. I like planning fun things to do with my kids. I throw lots of parties. That's my time with my family and my friends is how I de-stress. I need to be able to disconnect, here and there, and just spend that quality time with the people I love. That does it for me.
One, exercise, hands down. If I'm not exercising, I'm just not dealing with stress. And I find that yoga helps a lot. And then also spending time with friends.
I tend to be an overanalyzer, so sometimes I don't know if I'm actually coping or managing it, but honestly, I'm sometimes a stress eater, which is annoying and unfortunate, but that typically is how I do it, or I just jam to the loudest, most obnoxious music I can find in my car on my way to and from work.
I don't don't know. I mean, honest to God, at the end of the day, it's just like, again, having like the 5 minutes just to be by yourself and take a deep breath and like, and recharge and then go back, right?
It's so hard when you have a little one in the house. I need more romance.
One thing I just want him to remember is that the mommy guilt is always there. At least for me, it's always in the back of my head. I'm always balancing whether I'm doing the right thing for myself, the right thing for Benjamin, the right thing for our marriage, the right thing for our house. And so that's what causes me to second guess a lot of things that I am doing, even though I know that they're right.
He might realize this, but I'm so lucky that he is my husband and the father of my children, because he does a lot. Like, I'll sit around with people, other moms, and hear about what their husbands don't do, and a lot of times I just don't contribute to the conversation because he does a lot. He does everything for his kids. We don't always see eye to eye on the ways that we need to parent in certain areas, but I know that no matter what, he has their best interest in mind, so that's what's the most important.
So I'd love him to be me for a day because I think it would break him. My husband works really, really, really hard, and he is an attorney in private practice working like 70 to 80 hours a week. I mean, he doesn't take days off. So he works very, very hard, and I'm very appreciative to be married to somebody who has that kind of work ethic, because it's great. But like, I take the kids to daycare, I pick the kids up from daycare, I handle doctor's appointments, I handle play dates, scheduling, swimming lessons, all of that kind of stuff. And I do that because I work fewer hours than he does. So to me, it just sort of seems like that's how we do it. But sometimes I'd really like him to know, like, you know, what it's like to drive every morning with two kids in the car. I can remember one time on maternity leave, I drove by myself in the morning, and it was like a vacation. I stopped at Starbucks, nobody was asking for chocolate milk. It was phenomenal. And so sometimes I'm like, I just love you to know like how much effort this takes. But other than that, I can't complain.
My husband says he realizes this, but I don't think he really truly does. It's as a mother, and especially if you're a mother that breastfeeds in the beginning, you are responsible for the schedule. You're responsible for the baby schedule. You're responsible for the family schedule, and it's a lot of responsibility. And it becomes taxing, and it feels daunting, and it almost feels like a big kind of weight on your shoulder. And my husband says he understands that, and he says he sees that, but I really don't think he can understand the weight of it.
I ask the questions here.
I'm a researcher.
So it's funny, that answer has probably changed. Pre-kids, I'd probably be like, oh, I go for a run. And now I'm like, if I have free time, I try to sleep.
Well, I guess I should tell you, I purposely left this on the table so that, like, hoping he might look at it so I wouldn't have to tell him.